All right, and I did all this, made sure everything's good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish treating my hand again, and then I'm going to go just give the car a body wipe down with my hand, just see if I can feel any imperfections or anything that I can take care of before I put the clear on. Then when I'm done with that, then I'm going to blow it off again, and then I'm going to shoot. So let's go ahead and activate one of these. It's been shooken up for 2 minutes. As you can hear, the missus is over there going at it. Let me get the lid off this. Hold on. All right, I got the lid off. So I got the activator button, and the activator button goes on the bottom here, right down here. Goes right there. You just set it on there. Then you're supposed to smack it. So let me go ahead and smack it. All right, now that I've smacked it, now I'm going to verify that it actually activated, and that's I'm going to take it and push it with my finger, and it's activated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give that to my lovely assistant, my missus, and she's going to shake it for 2 minutes and then give it back to me. And I would recommend that if you're going to use more than one can, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to use about 3, to leave this red tag on top. Sorry about the rattle there. I didn't ask her to go the other way. I'm going to leave this red tag on the top to let me know that don't take the lid off this and start spraying it unless it's been activated. So that's a little precaution. Here's the respirator. I already talked about that. You might want to have a tissue paper around so you can take out and wipe out all the moisture in here from you breathing after a while. So anyways, let's go ahead and pause this, and then when I get the can back and get the car prepped up, I'm sorry, I still have to do my hands and give that car a good wipe down and blow down, and then we'll start. We're gonna do it. All right, I've blown everything off, wiped everything down. I did not use any oil or degreaser wipes on it. I actually tried to do a little bit back here, just in the pocket, and it's actually started to make the tape dissolve, or the clear coat on it start to dissolve a little bit. So that's where you want to do all your testing, in an area that you're not gonna see anything. And for the little bumps and stuff, what I decided to do is just kind of take my fingernail and push them down like that. That's about the best you can get on that, and hopefully it'll turn out good. So for an outside paint job, I think it's going to be okay. It's not going to be great, but it's going to be okay, So anyways, I've got a can here ready. Let me get my respirator on, and let's start going at it. All right, I got my dust off can just sitting up here on the truck in case I need it for bugs or something. It's easy access. I've got my can. It's all done up, and I'm ready to start spraying. So I'm actually going to start when the door jams. Looks like I got my first bug. Oh well. Since I'm not on final coat, I think I will try to get that bug out of there with a really sharp knife. So let me go get something. Alright, I got my wife. She's gonna go and get me a nice sharp X-Acto blade. Another bug right there. Even Christmas. Another one there that just hit. Able to get them out. Get a couple of them out of there. Oh, I was able to get it out. There we go. Alright, let's press on. Alright, here we go. Boy, that wind is terrible. Alright, here we go. This is the pretty much the end of the first coat. And the bugs are just having a good time. It's been hard to keep them off of here. The nice part is it dries fairly quickly, I guess, to what you would say the bug touch. And because of that, I'm able to use the compressed air to get the bugs off if I blow, you know, at a really sharp angle. So it's not turning out too bad. It's not as good as painting like in a booth or an enclosed garage. But for just a quickie, yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Especially compared to what this car looked like first. I actually got a little bit of a sag there and a little bit of a sag right here. So that's where I was coming up and I accidentally paused for a second and had to get close to get up in this little channel right here. So, but overall it's not turning out bad. It'll look decent. So let me get back to spraying it here. It's like 10 minutes between coats, and I'm going to end up using 3 cans on it, which is what I expected because that's what it took to put the ground coat, mid coat, as Automotive Touch-Up calls it. So let me kill this for now, and then we'll get back at it. All right, I've put my second coat on. I've had a couple of bugs come in and land on it. Unfortunately, I was able to get a really sharp X-Acto blade and just kind of get the tip in there and just barely scrape it. And I was able to get most of the bug out, about 99% of that bug. Hold on, let me back up here. One right here, and there was one right here. So, we'll see. I'm still having a little bit of problem with a little bit of dust blowing on it too, little hairs and fibers and stuff. So I don't know, I just I guess that's a lesson learned on painting outside. I mean, if you're gonna paint a light color, I can say I don't recommend it. I mean, it'll look good from a foot away, but when you get it closer than a foot, you're gonna start noticing little imperfections. If it's a solid color, like a more darker color, say like a green or a metallic green or mid-metallic green, I would say, not a limelight green, or something like that, or a black or a dark blue or a mid-metallic blue, you could probably get away with it. But with a pearl, I don't recommend it. I mean, it still looks good. Like I said, from a foot and a half away, it looks, you know, really good actually. But when you get up close, you start to notice little things, like little fiber hairs in it and stuff like that, or any small imperfections. That's where there was a bug earlier that I took out. That should buff out though. Most of this you should be able to wet sand and buff out. But the hairs and stuff that were on the pearl coat underneath, I guess that got in there, either what I was spraying it overnight or whatever, I'm not sure. not meaning I sprayed it overnight, but it landed on it and somehow got adhered to the paint. Got stuck in there. The funny part is I've had no bugs, none, no bugs or any real problems in this area where the light's going to be and stuff. So that's really weird. The area that I care the least about is the least affected, and the area I care the most about is the area that seems to attract everything. So that's just par for the course. But overall, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way it's turning out. I just wish the little microfibers and bugs would leave me alone. So that's the end of the second coat. Let's go up and see how the little areas that had the sags in are turning out. I don't even know if you can see it. It's so bright out here, I can't see if it's focusing or not. Yeah. So there you go. Hopefully that'll cure out and you won't see it. The one was down here is almost completely gone. You can still see a little bit of it right here. It was a lot worse. And the paint is actually fairly shiny. It's not perfect yet, but you know, it hasn't been completely cured, and it hasn't been wet sanded and buffed. So overall, yeah, it's pretty good for a paint can job. I would say that this is turning out fairly well. Here's the top up here. It's let me see if I can get some sun reflection off of it. Can't tell. Oh, maybe there you go. Don't want to totally blind you out. But anyways, so it looks like other than little minor stuff on the bodywork, it turned out really good. So anyways, I'm waiting for the third can. Wait for time, I should. I have to wait till 28 after. So 10 minutes between the coat, and this will be the final coat on it. And hopefully it'll turn out good. I mean, so far the second coat's looking pretty good, other than the little imperfections I pointed out. So let me get back to it. All right, the third and final coat is on, the gloss. So I put this coat on really wet, which is what you're supposed to do. The last coat is supposed to go on wet. So far, it's not too shabby. I probably could have used the fifth can, but I don't think I'm going to go against it. We still have to paint the front fender, so I want to use the last two cans for that. Wish I could see the screen. I have the screen all the way up, but because it's so bright out, I can't actually view anything here. My biggest problem has been the occasional bug. I had 2 bugs land right here, so I'm going to have to wet sand those out. I managed to get them out with the X-Acto, and here comes the mailman. All right. So let me see if I can. Well, you can see the reflection of the truck in there. So without buffing, without sanding, with the wet coat that I just put on, seems to be pretty good. Not too bad. Again, no imperfections in here. They all have to be over here where it counts. So probably could have used a little bit more up in here, but it'll still be okay once I wet sand it and buff it out. Well, there you go. 3 coats of that 2-part you know, whatever, activated clear coat. Sorry about that. I'm looking at the paint job while I'm trying to talk. So I think it turned out okay. Not primo, but okay. For when you paint out in the yard, I think it turned out really good. Especially being a pearl and all. And those stripes that I was worried about earlier, I was right. It was just where there was some dry spots and some wetter spots. But once I put the clear on it, all that tiger striping or whatever, all that disappeared which is what I thought would happen, and it did, so that's good. All right, I think I'm gonna call this video right here a wrap, and maybe the next video will show putting the door on, and maybe eventually we'll show us doing some wet sanding and buffing it out. I don't know. God bless y'all, and Keith Nunn out. Bye.